In this video, I'm going to go through 10 tips to help you with iOS 8. I think sometimes we get so involved with our devices, and because we use them on a daily basis, we forget some of the features that might be available. So here are 10 tips to get the most out of iOS 8. The first one is being notified when you get a reply to an email. So it may be that you sent an important email and you need to know when a reply comes through. You can do this simply by going to your Mail app, and in my case I'll choose the Sent folder, and then I'll choose one of these emails, and then I can click or tap the flag button down the bottom left hand corner, and you'll see that a menu pops up and it says notify me. If you tap on the notify me menu, and then another box comes up that you want to confirm that, tap notify me, and that's all you need to do. The next time that person or someone replies to that email, iOS will notify you that it's come through. You'll also notice next to it there's a little alarm type icon. This is just to show you that you're being notified when someone replies to it. It's just as simple to turn off. If you go back into the email and then you click the flag button again, you can say stop notifying, and you'll notice that the little alarm icon has gone. So that's all there is to tip number 1. So for tip number 2, we're going to stick with mail for a moment, and this is a feature that I've found really handy. It wasn't available in previous iterations of iOS, and it's probably one of my favourite things, although it's relatively simple. And that is when you are creating a new email, and let's just type something in here. And there are times when you need to refer to another email for whatever reason. It might have some information that you need to add to the email that you're writing. And previously what you'd have to do is you'd have to cancel it and save it to your drafts folder. And then you'd have to go back in and open it up and carry on writing the email. And that was kind of a cumbersome way of doing things. That's no longer the case anymore. You can simply just swipe down from the top of the email that you're currently writing, and it will go to the bottom of the screen like so. And then you can go through your other emails, or the email that you need to refer to, maybe copy some information, and then to get back to the email you're writing, you simply tap on the message subject at the bottom of the screen, and it will appear full screen again, and you're back to where you were. Really useful feature. So that's tip number 2. For tip number 3, we're going to focus on Safari, and we're going to focus on tabs. So if we click on Safari here, and we choose from tabs in the bottom right hand corner, so the tab button, these are all the tabs that you've currently got open. But there are times when I, for example, have closed a tab by accident, or I need to get to a tab that I had closed previously. There's a simple way to do that. The plus button at the bottom will open up a new tab and essentially a blank page. But if you just tap and hold, as you see, it pops up with all the most recently closed tabs. And simply tapping on any of them will open up that particular page. Handy if you need to get back to some tabs that you've closed previously. So for the next tip, we're going to look at getting back to the top of the screen at lightning speed. Let's say, for example, you have a list and you've scrolled all the way to the bottom. In this case, what I'll do is I'll choose something from Safari. Let's say this web page. And I was reading through this web page, and I'm scrolling to the bottom, and it may well be longer than this in some cases. But what I don't want to do, I need to get back to the top for whatever reason, but I don't really want to have to scroll through with my finger like this again to go all the way back to the top. So once you're at the bottom of the page, you can simply just tap on the time, and it will go straight back to the top of the screen, like so. And it's as quick as that. So for tip number 5, we're going to look at how you can enter your credit card details into Safari without actually typing anything. This is quite a cool feature actually. So on my screen here, I've gone to a shopping site and added something to my basket, and I'm just going to continue. And it will take me to the area where I have to put in my credit card details, of course. So what I can do is, you can see here I've got my credit card number and the expiry and the CVV number. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tap on the credit card, and as you can see, just above the keyboard it says autofill credit card details. Now it may be that I don't have my credit card details stored on my device. In this case I do. But if you don't, you can use your camera and then you can just line up your card and it will take the details and pop them straight in to the payment method, and you're good to go. So we've all been in that position where we want to know what song is playing, or we want to know the name of the artist because it's such a great track. So you can do that simply now in iOS 8 just by asking Siri. There are apps out there that allow you to do this, but now it's just become easier because you can ask Siri the song name. So in this case, what I'll do is I'll just bring up Siri. Hey Siri, what song is this?
Hang on, let me listen. This sounds like A Horse with No Name by America.
And there you go. Siri provides you with the name and the artist, along with the option to buy the track from iTunes. Useful little feature. Okay, for this tip, we're going to talk about notifications. There are some developers out there who don't seem to grasp the concept of notifications, and they just use them in the most annoying ways. So this tip is pretty obvious, but for those of you who don't know, it could come in handy. There is a way that you can turn off notifications for individual apps. So if we just go into the settings menu and then we choose notifications, you'll see that all your apps listed here are the ones that are sending notifications or the ones that you've allowed to send notifications. So if I was to pick one of these, any one will do, say for example this one, and once tapped on, it will show me the notifications for that particular app. If that app is just getting annoying with notifications, all you have to do is switch off allow notifications and you're done. I will now never receive notifications from that app again, giving me peace. So useful if you want to turn off some of those annoying notifications. So for this tip, we're going to go back to Mail, and I'm going to show you how you can mark all your messages as read. This was something that wasn't available previously, and I remember a few people actually came to me and said, is there any way I can just mark all my messages as read on my iPhone? And at the time you couldn't. The only way you could do it was to go through each and every email and tap on it to show that it was read. You don't have to do that any longer. If you look at my email here down the bottom right hand side, it shows that I've got 11 unread messages. Now if I just wanted to quickly mark those as all read, I can go into the email, I can tap on the edit at the top of the screen, and then at the bottom left hand side it says mark all, so I can just mark them all, and a little menu comes up and it says mark as read. Simply by tapping mark as read, they're all done, they've all been read, and when I go back to my home screen there's no red icon showing me I have any unread emails. Useful if you've got loads of emails that you want to mark as read. So for tip number 9, I'm going to talk about how you use Siri hands-free. Normally when you want to access Siri, you would pick up your phone and press and hold down on the home button to bring Siri up. But as long as you're plugged into a power source, whether that be in the car or at home, you can ask Siri something without even having to touch your phone. And to show that, I'll do that now. Hey Siri, remind me to buy some milk at 4 p.m. today.
Here's your reminder for today at 1600 hours. Shall I create it?
And there we have it. That was all without touching my phone. So last but not least, tip number 10, I'm going to talk about kind of a keyboard shortcuts. This is, I find, a really useful feature. If you go into your settings and then you choose General, scroll down till you find Keyboard, and then choose Shortcuts. So what you can do here is you can add things that you would frequently use in text, but in an abbreviated way, and it will write it out fully or type it out fully when you use the abbreviated version. So as an example, if I press 1 here and add another one, let me just pop in my name here, and then I can choose an optional shortcut. So I'm just going to choose CY, and then I'm going to save that. Okay, so now what will happen is if, let's say for example, I open up an email, and let's pretend I'm sending someone an email, I've finished writing the email, and I need to write my name. So rather than typing out Chris Yates in full, I can just literally do CY, and there we have it, press space, and because I put it in the shortcut, it recognizes it. And you can do that with, the most frequent phrases you might use. And it doesn't just work in Mail, it works on pretty much any app that uses the keyboard. So something that's really handy just to finish off these top 10 tips.